Hello, Dave Garrett again from Empower Software. And today I'm going to give you a bit of an introduction to scheduling and the three types that you can have within Empower and the differences between them. So within Empower we can have three different types. We can have backward scheduling set up as a default, or forward scheduling set up as a default, or you can have a combination of backwards and forward scheduling. Now, what's the difference between them? Well, they're basically on the dates that you have input into the system. So you can see, to see which your default is, I'll get you just to look at, go into Tools, Settings, and then under the Scheduling tab, you can see here that we've got a default setting for scheduling. So in this instance, if we switch this on, we've got forward scheduling as set as default, and if we switch it off, we've got backward scheduling set as the default. What does that actually mean? Well, to give you an example, I've set this up with a pretty simple demonstration. I've got a product called Product 1, and it's got 4 steps or 4 processes: step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. And I've also got a job in here that's called Job 1. And Job 1 has got the Product 1. So obviously it's going to create 4 tasks: step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. Now, when I said before about the dates, in essence what happens with a forward schedule is it works forward from the 6th of the date that we've received it here. So we might, for example, say that we want to move forward from the 6th for those 4 steps, whereas a backwards would move backwards from the day it's required by. Let me show you what it looks like in the calendar. So if I go here into View, Scheduling, Schedule, and have a look under View Schedule, and you can see here that I've got my 4 steps for Job 1, step 1, 2, 3, 4, one day after the other. So if it was a forward schedule, I might say that I wanted it to go at +1 day from the 6th, +2 days to the 7th, +3 days to the 8th, and 4 days to the 9th. Whereas if it was a backward schedule, I might say that my job is due on the 10th, okay? And then I need to complete that by the 10th, I need to do step 4 on the day before, -1 day, step 3 -2 days, step 2 -3 days, and step 4 -4 days. So the very first thing to think about when you're setting up scheduling is to think, do you have an organisation that schedules work on a forward date? That would be typically somebody or an organisation that might make some sort of service promise. So when you have a customer come in, you guarantee delivery in 3 weeks or 2 weeks or something like that. Or where you have a customer comes in, says, can I please have this by the 10th? And you need to figure out the days that you need to work on those tasks. Now, earlier on, I said that there is a third way that you can have both forward and backwards. So let's imagine, for example, that under Tool Settings, we had our scheduling set as forward, okay? But occasionally we might want to do a backwards schedule. So what we can do is we can click on here in Advanced, and you can see I've got this switch here switched on, Allow Forward and Backward Schedules. So even though my forward scheduling is set as my default, I'm going to be able to override that by putting in some jobs as a backward schedule. So when I put my new job in, it's by default, it's going to be a forward schedule. But what I can do is I can go and edit the job. If I go job, edit, and find my job, and you can see here that there's an extra drop down box here, which is the schedule type, and I can select whether I want this job to be forwards or backwards, and that will override the default. So that's pretty much it, forward and backward scheduling. If you want some more information, I suggest that what you do is you have a look here in the help system. If you go into Empower Help, scroll down in the factory productivity into scheduling, and you'll have information there on scheduling, backwards scheduling and forward scheduling. We do plan to have shortly videos on both forwards and backwards scheduling. So thanks for watching. See you next time.